Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a new perfume release, and this one has been controversial based off of some of the things that I've heard about it. People apparently are not happy with this release, and I definitely do have my thoughts, but I do feel like I have an unpopular opinion based off of what other people are saying. So today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Black Opium glitter fragrance. So this is yet another flanker from the Black Opium line. How many have they done at this point? There's been a good amount, and we have yet another one. This one has pretty much the same bottle as the OG, except we have a silver glitter bottle instead of the OG black glitter bottle. I'm gonna be obviously describing the scent, telling you guys the notes, and I'm also gonna be comparing it to the original and letting you guys know if I think they're similar, if you need this, if you have the original, all that good stuff. So with all that being said, let's get straight into this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn post notifications on, and let's get started. So I'm gonna first and foremost start with the notes of this fragrance. So Black Opium glitter has top notes of green mandarin, pear, lemon, middle notes of orange blossom, and base notes of vanilla absolute, coffee, marshmallow, patchouli, and musk. What kind of drew me to this scent, as you guys can imagine if you watch my channel, was that marshmallow note. That was definitely a new note that I haven't seen in any of the previous Black Opiums or the OG Black Opium, which was kind of ruled by that coffee note and just like this really deep sweetness, very sexy. I know the OG Black Opium is a very controversial scent to begin with. A lot of people swear by it and love it, but then there's a lot of people that say it's like super basic. I personally really like it, so I don't really care what anybody else says, but this flanker definitely excited me considering I already liked the original and it has an added marshmallow note. Like, I was so curious to know what they had done with this. Also considering Black Opium Le Parfum, which I tried not too long ago, is now one of my all-time favorites because it's just like ultra vanilla and it's just such a good fragrance. So I honestly had really high hopes, and I wasn't really looking at too many reviews because I didn't want it to sway my opinion on it. So I got the fragrance, I've been testing it out, and I formed my opinion, and then I started seeing the reviews, and I can now tell you that I actually like this one. Now, I feel like people think that I just like every single perfume, but I think if you've actually seen all my videos and you've seen previous dedicated perfume reviews that I've done to new fragrances, you'll see that there's a lot of perfumes I don't like. Shockingly, I know. I actually don't like a lot of perfumes, but I know that people think I just like every single perfume and I'm like hyping them up. I have nothing to lose other than my credibility, which is very important to me, by lying and telling you that I like a perfume that I don't like. You know what I mean? I don't understand why anyone would do that. So just keep that in mind. You can believe me or you don't. You make your own judgments on influencers, but I feel like sometimes people just want to bash on perfumes so that they can look like they're like so real and honest about a perfume. I always find that when people talk really highly of perfumes, it's like, oh, automatically you're lying. And if you talk badly about a perfume, oh, you're so real. Like, we love your honesty. But it's like, can I just not like a perfume? I'm lying suddenly if I actually like a perfume. Anyways, I really enjoy this perfume, but that's because I already really enjoy the OG, so I think that definitely has a lot to do with it. Now, do I think that you need this new one if you have the OG? I'm gonna be real with you, I don't, because I honestly don't find a huge difference between these two, especially considering a full size of this is now like $170. What is up with these high-end niche prices? Like, this is a designer perfume. Why are you almost $200? Like, that's ridiculous. Price aside, these two smell very, very similar, but there are definitely small differences between these two. I think overall they have the same vibe. I mean, they are flankers after all. I did find that with Black Opium Le Parfum, it was actually significantly different to the OG, so I was really, really happy with that scent. Whereas with this one, yeah, there's differences. I can smell them and I really like the differences, but I just wish it was a good amount different considering I'm paying $170 for a perfume that I somewhat already have in my collection, so that's definitely annoying. But considering I'm someone that loves marshmallow, if I see marshmallow in anything and I can actually smell it, I get really excited for it because I just want to curate the perfect collection of marshmallow fragrances. Now, I know some people have been mad and they say that they don't smell the marshmallow note in here. I personally smell the marshmallow note, but I only smell it in the dry down after it's actually dried down. Like after literally about an hour is when I get that marshmallow like sweet powderiness kind of coming in. But initially when this opens up, it's this guy. It's the OG. Like it opens up with the same burst of sweet, depth, coffee type of scent. But with the glitter version, it's just ever so slightly more powdery, maybe a little bit more creamy, I would say, than the OG Black Opium, which is a little bit more heavy on that coffee note. Now, if you look at the notes for the original Black Opium and the glitter side by side, you can see that the notes are honestly like vastly different. In the original Black Opium, in the top notes, you get pear, pink pepper, and orange blossom, whereas in this one, they have switched them around a little bit where you get green mandarin, pear, and lemon. So you still have that opening of that pear, but the OG opens up a little bit more floral and with a touch of spice from that pink pepper, whereas in this one it's a little bit lighter and I wouldn't say fruity, but just more fresh. Now, we do have 2 citrus notes in the opening of this, which I can definitely smell in the opening, but literally in the opening, like right when I spray it, is when I smell those citrus notes. It doesn't really smell like a citrus fragrance, but just had to mention that if we're like really dissecting the notes here. The middle notes are also very different. They've pretty much switched around that orange blossom. So whereas in the OG, you got the orange blossom kind of right away, with this one, the orange blossom is in the middle notes, and that's the only note in the middle notes. They've taken out the bitter almond, they've taken out the jasmine, they've taken out the licorice aspect as well, which I know is something that a lot of people didn't like in the OG Black Opium, because I know a lot of people don't like licorice. I personally love it in perfumes. I think it smells sweet and like jammy and amazing. I really like it, but I know a lot of people don't, and I definitely get the licorice in the OG, whereas I'm not really getting it in here. They've also switched around the coffee notes. So whereas in the OG, you got that coffee note in the middle notes, so kind of pretty early on when you spray this fragrance, in this new one, the coffee note doesn't really come out until it's kind of fully dried down, and it's also mixed with the vanilla absolute and the marshmallow. So I would say the base is really where you get that marshmallow, as I said, after it's fully gotten a chance to dry down on your skin. I've also heard people say that this is so light that they can barely smell it, and I'm like, I smell this heavy. Like, this to me is such a strong scent. I've been wearing this the past 2 days, like alone by itself, and it is so strong. It lasts me from morning to night. I'm like constantly smelling it. Yeah, by nighttime it's lighter, but that's because I've worn it all day. And then I'll revisit the next day, like the shirt or whatever I wore the day before when I had this perfume on, and I still smell it like heavily. It just kind of adheres to the fibers of your clothes, and kind of that dry down that you get a few days after when you smell that piece of clothing is like this marshmallowy, powdery, intensely sweet fragrance with just a lot of depth in it. This also reminds me of Jimmy Choo Fever, I think it was called, which I had a few years ago and I decluttered mine. It smells a lot like that, and Black Opium had a baby kind of. I think the biggest difference is just that that coffee note is not as intense in this one. The licorice element is also gone, and you get more of like a powdery sweet sugariness, which is what that marshmallow is giving off. But I do understand where people are saying that they're not really getting the marshmallow, because it's not like full on marshmallow. It just kind of gives you this idea of a marshmallow, almost just like powdered sugar kind of vibe, mainly just in the dry down. Pretty heavy on that orange blossom as well. I do want to mention 2 perfumes that this is being compared to a lot that I personally do not see a resemblance to whatsoever. I think it's mainly just being compared to these perfumes because the notes are kind of similar, but I've seen people say that this is super similar smelling to Killian Love Don't Be Shy, as well as Oriana from Parfums de Marly. I'm not getting either of those fragrances in this one. Those perfumes are heavy on the marshmallow and very heavy on the orange blossom as well. So similar notes, but different vibes. Oriana and Love Don't Be Shy are a lot more powdery and definitely give off that marshmallow aspect a lot heavier. Whereas in here, it's more jammy and coffee-esque. So it's definitely different. I think the comparison is just because the notes are the same, but I feel like you can't compare perfumes just because they have similar notes. You have to compare them based off smell. And in my opinion, I'm getting neither Love Don't Be Shy or Orion. So with that said, that is my full review on this fragrance. Do I think it's great? Yeah, but that's coming from somebody that already likes the OG. Do I think it's vastly different from the original? No. Do I think you need to spend the $170 for this one if you have the original? No. Unless you're a crazy person like me, then okay. I'm really curious to know what you guys are thinking about this in the comments down below, because yeah, it's a controversial one for sure. Do I wish it was a little bit more different and gave me more Marshmallow? Yes, but I do like it. I like it a lot. My husband really liked it. He thought it was really sexy. Honestly, it's making me be kind of okay with decluttering the OG, because I've had the OG for so long, but I don't really use it that much. I just kind of keep it around because I feel like at some point I am going to use it and then I just don't. But I think this one is kind of exactly what I wanted the OG to feel while still maintaining the scent of the original. So now after having this, I'm kind of considering maybe decluttering this because I definitely don't need both. And I kind of like this more than the original. That's my take on it. Let me know your opinion. I'm super curious. I know the comments are probably going to be all over the place. That is it for me today. I hope you guys liked this review. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn your post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!